Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. I am covering the Robert Card Lewiston Maine Mass Shooting case. I want to give you an update, right? We want to talk about the victims, right? There was 18 casualties from this tragedy. Multiple other people injured. But there's a new report that just came out, and I want to share this report right here. And in this report, it says, Maine governor wants administration to pay funeral costs of mass shooting victims. And that's very, very interesting, right? Maine Governor Janet Mills' administration is seeking to help cover the funeral costs of the 18 victims who were shot and killed in the Lewiston mass shootings. On October 25th, Robert Card opened fire at the Just-in-Time Recreation in Chemenegee's Bar and Grill, killing 18 and wounding 13. According to the governor's office, her administration is working to make sure that families of those killed do not have to pay for the funerals of their loved ones. I think that's right for a governor to do that, right? Why should the victims' families have to set up GoFundMes themselves or pay out of their own pocket for funeral expenses? So the governor's stepping up in Maine and saying, hey, we are going to pay the funeral cost. The Mills administration said the funds for the funerals are expected to come in from the Victims' Compensation Program, which is through the Office of Attorney General. Now, is this taxpayer funded? So that's a question too. Is it taxpayer funded? It will be supplemented by the funding from the governor's account. These are the names killed. And there was lots of victims here, and I'll read off the names. Ronald Morin, Peyton Ross, Joshua Seal, Brian McFarland, Joseph Walker, Arthur Strott, Max Hathaway, Stephen Vazzello, Thomas Conrad, Michael D. Solarius, and if I don't say that name, I apologize. Jason Walker, Trisha Asselin, William Young, Aaron Young, Robert Violet, Lucille Violet, William Brackett, Keith McNear. And again, if I don't say any of those victims' names, those 18 people that lost their lives, I apologize. But the funerals of 7 of the victims have taken place as of Monday. So 7 of the funerals have taken place. I wonder who paid for those 7. Wonder who paid for the 7, the victims' family members. And if they did, it looks like they'll be compensated for this, rightfully so, right? The governor also announced that the U.S. Small Business Administration has approved a request to make emergency financial assistance available to businesses in Lewiston, Lisbon, and Bowden that were impacted due to the shelter-in-place order after the shootings, right? A news release noted that the disaster declaration will make available low-interest economic injury disaster loans of up to $2 million to eligible small businesses, small agricultural businesses, and small nonprofit organizations. I thank the Small Businesses Administration for quickly approving my request to help impacted Maine businesses, Mills noted in the release. I encourage eligible Maine businesses to apply for this relief. That's a good gesture too, don't you think? Don't you think that's a good gesture too? Because businesses, when I was in the area covering the case, a lot of businesses were actually shut down. I saw the McDonald's, the Starbucks, the Subways, Burger Kings, a lot of the business there shut down, and I saw signs on their business doors saying they specifically shut down because of what happened. So, that's good that other small businesses in that area can, get some loans and recoup those couple days. It's similar to a snowstorm, though. Sometimes when you get snowstorms up there or hurricane or different floods, some businesses close down for a couple days. What about the COVID? A lot of businesses were shut down there. But that's what's going on. Funeral costs. I feel very bad for the victims to have to attend the funeral costs. And I think, or have to go, do these funerals and possibly bear the cost. Has other states done that? And that's interesting question I have is, other victims of mass shooting tragedies, did they end up having to pay the funeral costs of their loved ones? It's interesting, and I'm going to actually look into this matter. And if they did, maybe they can go back to their own governors, like Janet Mills did. Is she doing this as a kind gesture to save face for maybe the mishaps that happened with this case? Because, we heard that a lot of red flags were going on in reference to this tragedy about them knowing about Mr. Card's mental health status. This all could have been possibly prevented, do you think? Subscribe to my channel, like, hit the notification button. I am JLR Investigates, covering this tragedy. We will pray soon. Pray for the victims. God bless.